All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, welcome to the Using Technology to Mitigate Risk webinar sponsored by Qualtrics. My name is Deanna Felton and I am the Customer Relationship Manager. Today we will talk about risk mitigation and the ISO 9001-2015 requirement. We will talk about why using technology to reduce risk is important, key elements around risk mitigation, and then give examples of processes used to capture those requirements. We have a 30-minute session with 15 minutes for questions and answers at the end. I would like to go ahead and start with a brief overview of our organization. We are a compliance management solution company that is very stable and been in business 24 years now. We ourselves are ISO 9001-2008 registered and currently in the process of transitioning to 2015 this month. So a lot of you are probably in that transition mode as well or have already done it. Our customer base is global, headquartered across the street from the Virginia Tech University campus in Blacksburg, Virginia, and we have a Europe office in Milton Keynes, England. We take our purpose very seriously as we help businesses such as manufacturing plants, crime labs, and utilities that have heavy compliance burdens. We provide high-quality software and services that ultimately make their life easier. Along with our purpose, we also take our core values very seriously. Our team members uphold these core values. They are truly guiding posts for us in every decision that we make and really how we work with our customers on a daily basis. All right, let's now get back to talking about risk. So what is driving us all towards incorporating risk mitigation into our processes? Why is it important? Let's look at a definition here. 3.7.9 writ in the ISO 9001-2015 standard has defined risk for us as the effect of uncertainty. They defined an effect as a deviation from the expected. So no matter if it's a positive or a negative effect. Uncertainty is the deficiency of information related to an event, or in other words, its consequence or likelihood. So let's break that down even further. A few components that are important are how likely something will go wrong, or what we typically hear a lot of it our customers call probability. And the consequences if it does fail, or in other words, the severity. So the goal is categorizing probability and severity so that proper risk analysis can be conducted and hopefully mitigated in the future. What we have seen is that organizations that tend to use automated processes see faster results to which risk is identified and resolved. The result is a reduction in risk and quality costs with very high visibility of your probability and severity. So how can we use these automated processes to see these results and see the probability and severity classified? Automated processes can provide a multitude of things for us. The first being a whole organization integration. So using an automated system that has risk management functionalities truly enables you to integrate risk management processes across your entire quality management system, which is real important. An automated process can also provide compliance. It seems pretty obvious, but it does ensure that the risk and deviations are reviewed. Not only are they reviewed, but also at a frequency and evaluated by the right team members. It can also provide reporting tools for us. Having that report capability that is really easy to utilize and deploy to your global teams will help increase the visibility and reduce risk in the organization. Being able to easily classify your probability and severity in those reports and demonstrate those results is real important as well. An automated process can also provide a customizable solution which can configure, help you be able to configure your own criteria of risk, probability, and severity, and make sure that it matches the terminology that your organization uses. And finally, an automated process can provide cohesiveness. Being able to launch workflows from each other is important, and being able to capture all of that information for reporting purposes and demonstrate it quickly in audits is really a piece of this. Automated processes can provide a lot of efficiencies for you. Qualtrics contains all of the enhancements covered above and in the last slide. And a lot of our customers use our software daily to mitigate risk. And I'd like to share with you a few examples through our workflows. But first, I'd like to equip you with a definition of what a workflow is to us. It is an automated process that is ultimately routed from one individual to the next, capturing relevant information along the way. It provides email notifications and escalations, helping to drive deadlines for closure, also providing reports and searching capabilities for status and trending of data. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at 3 different workflows in our product. And I'm going to pull up process maps of those workflows first and key elements about those process maps. And then we're going to go into our product, and I'll demonstrate through a product demo how we can mitigate risk by using them. So the first workflow is a real common one to help mitigate risk, which is the internal audit process. It's based off of your own severity and can determine if the risk requires a NCR or CAR. This workflow is designed to capture probability and severity, and is ultimately configurable to meet the needs of what you need to capture for your team. We do have a built-in launch capability in the product, and can also be very helpful in this case. Once the launch occurs, we can keep and copy information from one instance to the next, really ensuring cohesiveness. The review audit step ensures that your risk opportunity documentation is reviewed and updated, which is important. Report analysis and trending at closure reduce the risk over time. And then in addition, you can search and report against all types of risk based off of severity and or probability. Okay, so this is one workflow, the internal audit process. Another common workflow to mitigate risk is the management review workflow. This workflow outlines requirements for ISO management review, and it is set on a frequency that the management team determines. The quality management review step requires that risk and opportunities have been evaluated. There is a report analysis and trending at closure to help reduce risk over time. And then you can search and report against all the variables in the workflow, just like our last workflow that we looked at. Lastly, we have the customer feedback workflow. This workflow outlines requirements for capturing complaints or OFIs. Classifications can be set per type of feedback. The review update system step requires feedback to be classified and risk evaluated. Report analysis and trending at closure, just like the other workflows, can help reduce risk over time. And then, just like the others, we have search and reporting capabilities where you can filter out your results based off of feedback classifications and severity. Okay, I'd like to move to our demo system for a further example of each of those three workflows. So again, we're going to take a look at the internal audit workflow, the management review workflow, and customer feedback. Okay, so we are in our manufacturing demo environment, and we have captured some information in each of those three workflows, and we're going to take a peek at the internal audit workflow first. And we have one in process, so I'll go ahead and type in the instance number to pull that up. Keep in mind as we go through this section of the product that all fields that you are seeing are configurable to meet your needs. This particular instance was initiated and sent for proper information about the interviewees and actual date and time started of the internal audit. You can capture opening, closing, meeting notes, and an audit report. These are external file fields that are then routed to each person for visibility. We are tying our associated appropriate ISO standards with this instance. And then if there was a finding that occurred during that internal audit, we can specify what clauses of the standard were reviewed and a description of that finding. And then over on the far right, we have our association of severity and probability with each finding that occurs with the internal audit. We can associate procedures that are associated with this internal audit instance. And there's additional notes that we can capture. And at the very bottom in our footer is a process map that's available to end users where they can see where they are within that process. A very good training tool as well. Let's go back up to the top of this instance and take a look at our audit trail. Within the history link, we can see the audit trail that contains automated dates and times of when it was processed at each step, and you can see who completed that step. And then for our cohesiveness to reduce risk, you can access the launch that kicked off the nonconformance report process. You can see that launch here, and I can go to that instance and see how that is progressing in its process. Those launches help us tie the two records together very nicely. Within the report section of our product, then we can run an NCR or an internal audit report. Depends on which data you're trying to retrieve. These reports can be ran against your filter and field choices. And so you can filter out the NCR reports based off of severity to show high-risk findings. So I'm going to go ahead and click on our nonconformance report. And we designed this ourselves. Our end users can design these as needed. but a great example of how you can filter out based off of severity and or probability to see the high risk areas, or you can run it without selecting those and you get a quick return within the report screen. All of our reports are able to be exported to an Excel file. So I can show you the end results where you can share that information and do what you need to externally with that information. Okay, so that was the internal audit workflow where we were able to help launch nonconformances from it and keep a cohesive record of them, and then filter out by severity and probability to show auditors and help reduce risk within our facility. Management review is the next workflow we'll take a look at. And we have an instance that is now in a closed state to take a look at here. Again, all fields that you see are configurable to meet your needs. This is purely an example. We do have each of these workflows available as turnkey options as well if you like what you are seeing. Within the management review workflow, you can identify if effectiveness of risk actions have been taken. And you can add a description of the management review action and a date completed. You can tie this workflow into appropriate ISO standards, and important, you can add your risk opportunity documentation. It can be attached and kept for historical reference. Just like the other workflows, you have a process map that's available in the footer to demonstrate to end users where they are in that process. And we have our history audit trail, which will show us who initiated and all the automated date and time stamps. Then within reports, we can run a management review report based off of the calendar year or date. I can see my results and I can go straight to any instance within that report and export it to Excel as needed. Okay, so the management review report is an important process for us in demonstrating the risk opportunity documentation and making sure that we have all risk actions followed up on so that we are, rest assured, we are ready for the next audit. The last workflow to take a look at is customer feedback. And we have one of those in process. And what we are doing within this workflow is capturing feedback classification and severity. We have a description of the customer feedback. A response to the customer is area for us to capture that is there with our classification as to what type of feedback it is, our severity levels, and then our risk opportunity documentation can be uploaded as well. We have our process map in the footer. And in this particular process, there is a launch. So if a nonconformance is something that is needed based off of the feedback from the customer, then we can launch that and make sure that we have record of it within our audit trail. So our audit trail shows us all of our automated dates and times, and then it's capturing when that launch occurred, and we have a nice tie-in record where we can go to that CAPA NCR and see whose hands it's in and the follow-up that occurred to this feedback. On the report side, we can select the customer feedback report and filter that by feedback classification or by severity. Let's say I want to narrow my results to see all moderate customer feedback results. We have one. I wanted to see all of them. I can unselect that and I can see all of the customer feedback instances in my system. Can see what status they're in and go directly to that instance through these links. Just like the other reports, I can export this information to Excel and I can share that with my internal teams. One thing we did not look at with the other two workflows was our content search tool. We have a quick search tool that you can use to search on a term that pertains to your workflow instances. So for example, if I type in the word shipment, it'll pull all of the procedures in our system and workflow instances that contain that word. And then I can go directly to that instance quickly to see the information that I need to. In this case, it happens to be a NCR. Okay, that concludes the demonstration portion. I would now like to open up the webinar for any questions that the attendees have. So we have a question. Does your software handle document management as well? Absolutely. We have three main sections of our product. We have document management, where we are keeping track of your document revisions and making sure that they are housed in the appropriate location by department and visible to those that need to have access to them. With our system, you can always rest assured that you're looking at the last approved revision of those documents. Since those documents have revision tracking on them. We also have a built-in PDF generator to those documents so that they will have added security on them, but you are always editing them in the native format, whether that's Microsoft Word, Excel, or PowerPoint. Another main section of our system is the workflow section that we went through, where you're keeping track of all of your processes, receiving email notifications along that process map, and you're able to keep track of it within your Qualtrics inbox. Your inbox manages when workflows come to you and make sure that they are processed forward in an appropriate time manner. And the last section that we have in our system is testing and training, which captures all of your training effectiveness. We can upload your training videos and make sure that the appropriate training teams have been trained, and you can prove that through our training matrix with your auditors. Another question, do the three workflows that we took a look at come with the software, or do we have to create them ourselves? Good question. So we do have a few options for you. We have turnkey workflows built for your environment, and we can package these for you and give them to you, where you just import them into your system and fine-tune them the way that you like, and then flip the switch and deploy them to your end users. We can also train you how to build these from the ground up, and we give you the skills so that you do not need our team members then to make modifications to them. And we help you in creating that process map. One thing I'll note with the workflows is that we have a workflow library that is available to all of our customers through our support portal. And as needed, you can go to that workflow library and see all the workflows that we are uploading. And without any additional cost, you can import them into your system. Another question, how can I get a demonstration of the entire software package? Good question. So definitely you will receive a follow-up email from us after this webinar. We definitely encourage you, if you want to see more about all areas of our product, to respond to the email, and it will go to our sales team, and they will schedule a date and time with your team to walk through the system with you. Question about the workflow launcher. I like the workflow launcher functionality. Does the feature feedback to the original workflow to say it was launched? Yes, absolutely. So there is definitely a cohesive tie-in. So just like we saw an audit trail from that internal audit to the non-conformance report, the same audit trail launch information is there on the NCR as well. So it goes back and forth, and it's all available within the reporting tool as well. It definitely does help with that risk piece and makes it real cohesive. Make sure I've captured all questions here. Another question about emails. We do integrate, how do emails integrate with your system? We integrate with any email provider that you have, whether that's Outlook, Lotus Notes. And what occurs is when a process goes through its routing notifications, when it hits a new step, let me pull up an actual process map as I'm talking through this. As the instance goes through each step, an email notification will be sent to the responsible person at that step, letting them know that they have an internal audit to process. So there's no question that they need to log into the product to process it forward. In addition, if there are instances that are sitting idle in that person's inbox that I just haven't gotten to, there is an escalation process built into our product, which will allow email notifications to go out as gentle nudges to remind you to go in and push it to the next step. Those emails come to Outlook, and then you also have the Qualtrics inbox that is managing your workload on a daily basis. Okay, I don't see any other questions from our attendees. Let me check one more section here. 1 second. I think I captured all the questions. Okay. Well, I greatly appreciate everyone's time today. I hope you're able to see how using technology through automated processes can definitely help mitigate risk in your organization. Appreciate you joining, and if you have any questions at all, you can call us at the number provided in the follow-up email that you will receive from us. Thank you so much.